Good morning this morning, and welcome to a 2026 Ohio State recruiting update video after week two official visits and previewing week three's official visits edition of the OHIO podcast. Do us a big favor if you don't mind, everybody, and you all know the drill. Smash that like button. With me this morning is the Wildman, Chris Wilds, and the marvelous one herself, Mecah Hannah. Mecah, welcome to the OHIO podcast. Welcome back, I should say. How are you this morning?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. I am kind of on cloud nine, Mecah. Ohio State recruiting is heating up. Things are looking good. Chris and I just recorded last evening a members only video that is going to drop this evening on going over Favour Akih and his commitment to Ohio State. So let's start there, Mecah. Favour Akih had his official visit to Ohio State this past weekend. Of course, he is the local four-star running back here in Delaware, Ohio, Central Ohio. And his official visit went incredibly well because by the end of the weekend, Mecah, he committed to Ohio State. So let's start there. Your thoughts on Favour Akih? What do you think of the young man?
He's such an underrated guy. I cannot believe he's only played football for 3 years. He's outstanding. I mean, his first play was an 85-yard touchdown run. So that should tell you something right there. And you couldn't ask for a better kind of kid. I've watched his interviews and stuff. He just seems so humble and down to earth, and just a great character kid to have in the program. I'm just so glad we got him.
Yeah, I am too. Chris, your quick synopsis. I know we did a whole video about him, but go ahead and pitch in here a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you, I just love absolutely everything the kid brings to the table, Eric. I mean, uh, power, speed, uh, incredible footwork, and what seems like just tremendous instinct because as Mika had touched on, only been playing for 3 years, but man, he seems to know exactly where the hole's going to be. He knows when to shift. We saw that the shiftiness in his hips. You made note of that on the video as well that we did last night. And man, the kid can block.
Yeah.
He's got that track stride. This kid checks every boxes. I feel like the kid is a star. I really do. I feel like he is a star. He's going to come in and possibly be, I think, maybe the next big thing for Ohio State. I
Mm.
really do at running back.
And he's an underrated receiving threat, too. He does a great job in that department and tracking the ball in the air as well.
Yeah, he does. And like Chris said, I think one of the more undervalued aspects of his game is his ability to pass block. And so this is something that you have to do if you're going to see the field early at Ohio State. It's something Ryan Day has talked about. It's something that Coach Locke obviously takes great pride in, and it's something that our running backs have become very good at, and the NFL loves. And so his ability to show his blocking ability, I think, is going to only benefit his ability to get on the field early. Now, Mika, moving on to, we had two other official visits over the weekend, and one of them I'm super excited about because I didn't know a whole lot about the young man. And the more I've learned and the more I've found out about his visit at Ohio State, the more I like it. And of course, I'm talking about the big 6 foot, 3.5, 285-pound offensive lineman from Flower Mound, Texas, Drew Evers. Mika, your thoughts on Mr. Evers?
I absolutely love this guy. He's got great personality. He did an interview with Devin Mello over at Buckeye Voice, and he's just such a well-spoken guy, very intelligent, loves to play chess, which should tell you right there how smart he is. He's got over a 4.0 GPA, and he I know he's listed at only 6'3", but he has the ability to play every offensive line position. I think he's athletic enough that he could make it work. He's so quick off the line and just his pad level's great. He's just an all around great player and a great kid again, and that I think it just again speaks to the kind of kids that Ohio State is targeting and bringing in and stuff. And I like where we stand with him. I think we can. I definitely think we made a very good impression, if not made ourselves the favorites to land him. But he is, regardless, he's a great young man.
If we were to get him, he would be the fourth lineman. Of course, now we're getting into that area now where it's kind of like who are the next two guys to join? And then I mean I was anticipating us getting five linemen. Is that where we're going to stand, or do you see the possibility that we actually go out and grab a sixth?
I think we will get six or maybe even push it to seven, depending on
Really?
who it is.
Yeah. If like Felix Ojo wants in, we're not going to tell him no, right?
Because I think we're, we're in a great spot for Drew Evers, and I think we're in a great spot for Aaron Thomas. And
Mm-hmm.
I think if a guy like Darius Gray or someone like that wants in, and he's visiting tomorrow on the 11th,
Okay.
if a
So
guy like
there
that, if a guy like that wants in, I think we'd take him and Drew. So
there you
Yeah,
go.
and I'll tell you what I really liked about Drew too, Mika, is his footwork is pretty good, but the hand fighting, the
yes,
way he uses his hands, I thought was really good.
and if you watch his basketball tape, it just he moves so well in space. Like so he doesn't he looks I know he's a big dude, but he doesn't look big when he moves. Everything looks so fluid and so like there's no like I don't know how you would describe it. There's no like slowness to his game. He's right there immediately when he needs to make a block or do anything. Like he's just great.
Yeah, there's no wasted motion
Yeah,
in his
that.
play. Yeah, yeah. It's a no nonsense. Very much every movement has purpose behind it. Very technically sound is is
Yes.
uh, is how he's described, and that's the kind of lineman you want, man. You want those technically sound guys. They're not lazy. When a lineman gets lazy, he gets beat, and so yeah, that's definitely what we're looking for there. Great insight, Mika. Um, Super excited about that. Now, I'm Darius Gray's kind of new to me a little bit here. Again, someone who's I haven't had my eye on. Is this kind of a late push here by Ohio State, or is it just somebody that I just whiffed on here, and this has been ongoing recruitment for a while?
No, we offered a while back, and he's been interested in everything, but he's visited a couple times, but he just recently got a. I think he's crystal balled to LSU right now, but I don't think any decisions have been made. And like I said, he's supposed to visit tomorrow, and I think if we push for him, we can get him and Drew, depending on if they both want in. And I think we're also in a great spot for Aaron Thomas. So,
Yeah, yeah, and I'm super high on Aaron Thomas myself. I think he's
oh,
one of the he's one of those guys who is a late bloomer, and he might be looked as a developmental project, but he has something that you can't teach, and that's just size, and athletic ability with to go with it.
yeah, he's definitely a diamond in the rough. Like we we did great when we cornered him. And did you hear what he told Oregon?
You talking about Thomas?
Yeah,
No, what would he tell Oregon?
he basically told him he appreciated their offer, but like it was kind of late for them to offer, and just said, "Yeah, I might visit," but I'm kind. He kind of just basically said he was pretty high on Ohio State right now, which was good to hear.
I heard a rumor that there was a silent commitment. I'm wondering if it wasn't him. That makes me think it
Yeah.
was him.
Uh, I don't know.
He's very
I
big on those guys who ask first.
Yeah.
yeah, right? Yeah. I mean, if you don't say that to Oregon, who obviously has the reputation of doing the NIL thing at a high level, if you aren't, really enjoying the relationship that you have previously built, which, like I said, I heard a rumor there was a silent commit, and I'm starting to put two and two together. So I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know that for a fact, but that reading the tea leaves, I'm wondering if it's not Aaron Thomas. All right, Mika, there was a one more guy on campus last week for an official visit that I want to talk about. And of course, that's the big defensive lineman from Alabama, Emmanuel Ruffin. This guy is your prototypical SEC defensive tackle. I mean, you 6'4", 290 pounds. He's built like a small house. The man is the type of guy who goes to Auburn, goes to LSU, goes to Alabama, goes to Georgia, and ends up being a first round draft pick as a defensive tackle out of the SEC. That's the type of guy that this man is. Does Ohio State stand any chance at all in this thing?
Um, personally think he stays south, but he's a very quiet kid. It seems he doesn't do a lot of talking. Doesn't is not very active on Twitter. He's just kind of the kind of quiet, stereotypical off uh s- southern defensive tackle type guy. I think he'd be a great get. I would love to have him, but I don't know just where his head's at right now.
I mean,
I
right now,
think
Mika. Oh, sorry.
um we are supposed to be getting a visit. We we got a visit from Ernest Rankins yesterday. He's a defensive tackle, but I haven't heard much on him either, so I don't know. He's more of a 6'6", 285 type guy. He's he's very good. He can get involved in the run game and stopping the pass. George is the favorite to land him right now, but I was I was surprised he came in for a visit. I was not aware that he was visiting until a few days ago.
Yeah, that same here. Uh, his official visit list was interesting. He went to Purdue first.
Yeah, which
Uh,
was odd.
Yeah, and then he went to Florida State, and then he showed up at Ohio State. It was on Monday. Um, and then he has Ole Miss coming up this weekend, and he wraps it up with Georgia, who, like you said, Mika, is the favorite to get him. Uh, and again, I've heard nothing like you said as well, Mika. Chris, going back to you, what was going to be your comment about the previous guy we were
About
talking
Ruffin?
about? Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, Mika had mentioned she thought he would stay down south. We are the only school above the Mason Dixon line that he seems to have any interest in at all,
Yeah.
really. It looks like he's down to three schools, with it being Alabama, LSU, and Ohio State. Um, that being said, you talk about Ruffin, you talk about Rankins, both Southern guys from SEC country. Mika, what's kind of your take on where we're at in our defensive line recruiting right now?
I think we're in a good spot to land some guys. There's some upcoming visitors I got my eye on, like uh Landon Barnes out of Duncanville. He's a uh edge guy, defensive end edge guy that I really like out of Duncanville. Duncanville's a great program. I like when we get guys out of there. we got a couple guys out of there in previous classes, and I like his speed off the edge. He did have a little bit of injuries during his high school career, so hopefully he's healthy. He seems to be, and I'll be interested to see how his visit goes. And I like our chances to flip Jameer Perez to the big guy big guy out of Glenville. He is human beings that large should not be that graceful.
Yeah, tell
Do,
Chris and I about that.
do you think that you just talked about Perez out of Glenville? Do you think that if we lock up Sincere Johnson, that'll have any effect on Perez coming in as well?
Well, I know that Sincere will definitely be in his ear. He already talked about how he's got ex Glenville teammates all in his ear, like saying come to Ohio State and stuff. So it couldn't hurt.
No, it won't hurt at all. Um, so why do you feel that we're going to be able to flip Perez outside of the fact that Glenville's a pipeline for Ohio State? Do you feel like maybe he just kind of pulled the trigger and committed a little bit too quickly out of emotion, and once things kind of settle down, he'll think about that decision? Or what's your gut feeling on why you think Perez could be a flippable target, Mika?
Well, I don't know 100% whether he'll flip or not. I'm just guessing by because he I get it. His teammates can't, so he wanted to be part of it. But you don't work out the way you did if you didn't have at least some interest in the program. Because he he did a lot of drills for us, is what I understand, and he seemed to really like the feedback he got and enjoy the coaching. And what other program do you know that has basically three offensive line coaches that can offer to if coach him up even if he doesn't. Oh wait, he's defensive tackle. Sorry, my bad.
Well, the
I
offensive line coaches can tell him what he's doing good or bad too, based
Yeah,
off of his. I get what you're saying, Mika. No, but you're right. But uh, I feel like maybe that commitment was out of emotion. You know, he goes on a visit. He goes down south. You
and
know,
a lot of it, like, you know how the SEC gets hyped, like, oh, they don't play football in the Big Ten. Like, you want to play real competition, come to the SEC and all that stuff. I think some kids, when they get on campus at those schools, they really buy into that. And he is he is a tremendous young man, and I think he just got caught up in the love he was being shown down there. I don't think he expected to be shown that level of appreciation from Florida because, you know, he was only a three-star tackle, underrated guy, underrated defensive tackle, but still only a three-star in the rankings. And you go to these schools and they wine and dine you and tell you how great you are. It'd be hard for any teenager to tone it down. Like,
Ca- Can I pose another thought on that?
yeah,
With what just happened with the House and with the fact that the University of Florida sometimes has a little trouble following through on that love that they have promised the athletes, do you think that might have anything to do with it as well? Because
yeah,
they've had issues with their NIL in the past not paying out the way they're supposed to.
maybe. And like I said, I think the new NIL like structuring is gonna put like the kibosh on a lot of programs that aren't using it the right way. I won't name names, but they know who they are, and everyone in Buckeye Nation knows who they are. So I'm gonna play the politically correct card here and not name anybody.
Mika, you're so much nicer than Chris and I.
Yeah,
Oh well,
I could
I'm
probably
a
break
lot
the rules.
new. I'm a lot new at this. You got the cachet to. to say stuff. I'm still working on mine, man.
It's not that we have the cachet. We've developed a thick skin. We're just calloused at this point to all the comments in the comment section about how terrible human beings we are.
Well,
Hey, I work in an elementary school. There's nothing these people could say to me that a fifth grader hasn't already said to me.
trust me, I get it. Like social media, just it's rough,
Dangerous.
man.
It's dangerous.
It's rough waters.
No kidding. No kidding. Mika, this has been a fantastic video. We appreciate you coming on once again, giving us another update as the month of June continues to march its way through. We will continue to do this. Chris and I love picking Mika's brain. She's called the guru of recruiting for a reason. She's getting shout outs on some of the bigger podcasts from the big media podcasts because of her knowledge and her great questions. And so, Mika, we are honored to have you join us and do these videos with us. This is why you are, as I have titled you, the marvelous one.
Well, it's been my honor, guys. It's been fun. I really enjoy doing these shows. It's been great.
Make sure you stay tuned right here to the OHIO podcast, everybody. We're going to have great content for you for the remainder of this week. We will have another recruiting video for you at the end of the week, highlighting what is going to be a massive a third week of official visits in Columbus, Ohio, over at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center for the Buckeyes. We will also make sure you stay here because we're going to have Mika back on again. We'll continue to pump out this great content for all of you. Hey, give Mika a shout out down in the comment section below, everybody. Make sure you tell her she's doing a great job. Mika does a very good job of making sure she tries to respond to every comment on the videos that she participates in. And so show her some love. We want Mika's fingers to be sore when this is all said and done because of all the great comments. How about that, Mika?
Okay, I can live with that, and that's a good kind of pain.
There you go. All right, guys. Be kind to one another. I host someone's OH, St. Carmen, Ohio, with all your heart. Till next time. Chris, Mika, you guys know what to do. OH!
I love you,
No.
Nation.